Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin, has been awfully outspoken on this issue. I understand you don't believe that Hunter is going to be convicted.
Well, I have a hard time believing it. You have to take a look at the difference between this case and what happened, the travesty in New York. You know, in New York, you had attorney general and a prosecutor who basically ran on not meting out impartial justice, but they were going to get Trump. And so those prosecutors bent over backwards to create these charges, ridiculous charges. And then you had a jury pool that was highly negative toward Trump. In this case, the prosecutors really were dragged kicking and screaming into bringing charges against Hunter Biden. They offered that sweetheart deal that was busted up by at least a judge that asked some pertinent questions that showed how unprecedented that sweetheart deal was. The most serious tax evasion charges, the prosecutors allowed.
Hold on, Senator. Senator, I understand. I understand the differences in the compare and contrast you're trying to make, but the charge you're making that federal prosecutors and FBI agents who are testifying are going to sandbag a criminal trial. It's a pretty significant charge.
It's not, Leland, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just comparing the two processes and how completely different they are. So now, my guess is the prosecutors in this case, they're going to want to win the case. But it's being brought in a venue, unlike what Trump faced in New York, completely hostile. I mean, Delaware, this is Biden country. So, what I've been, somewhat predicting is that there will probably be one or two jurors who will just say, they didn't meet the standard of beyond a reasonable doubt. And I would expect, at worst, a hung jury here. I have a hard time thinking that he'll actually be convicted. And then there'll be a great victory for the Bidens who go, this is all trumped-up charges. They're not. They're very serious criminal charges that I think Hunter Biden is absolutely guilty of. Are we going to see fair and partial justice meted out here? I doubt it. That's all I've been saying.
Look, I understand the point, and you're making a great point in terms of the Biden name in Delaware is like royalty. That said, Hunter Biden has been accused of an awful lot of things by Republicans, bribery, embezzlement, taking all of this money to peddle influence, on and on and on and on. I say accused by Republicans. He hasn't been charged with those crimes. He's been charged with a relatively minor and rarely charged federal felony of checking a box on an application to buy a gun that says he wasn't addicted to drugs. Should he have done it? No. Can reasonable people agree he was addicted to drugs? Yes. But reasonable people can also agree he's being charged with a crime that rarely, if anyone, is charged with, especially if they haven't committed other crimes with the gun they bought. And I'm wondering if there's not some parallels to what's happened to Donald Trump, that there's some very novel legal theories being used to charge Hunter Biden in the same way that they were used to charge Donald Trump, and two wrongs don't make a right either way you cut it.
I'd say they've chosen to prosecute these crimes because it'll be very easy to dismiss this. They rarely are prosecuted. The penalties meted out would be, probably certainly no jail time. And the crimes that are more serious, again, the millions of dollars of tax evasion, they allow the statute of limitations to run on those. So again, completely different situation, completely different venues. It's not even apples and oranges, it's apples and giraffes.
I don't know. I thought you were going to say apples and blackberries, because that's my favorite fruit these days. Senator Johnson, thank you. Apples and giraffes are a good visual this morning. We appreciate it. It's good to see you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.